a mapper, and again this is my data element coming out of the mapper and to go into the reducer. So each reducer is going to process a collection of key, and the key here is not going to be just a key and values pair, but the key associated with a set of values. And this is possible for Hadoop streaming via Python. Hadoop is going to sort. So the outcome that you see here is not sorted. But if we are to run it within a Hadoop and write environment, all the key would be sorted. So if you have multiple entry of, say, the matrix, after you run through the mapper and get to the reducer, anything related to the matrix is going to be stored in the same location. So with that, let's go ahead and create a file named reducer01.py. So current movie is none, current rating sum is 0, current rating count 0. We are reading in from standard in. The reducer is reading in data coming from the mapper as a standard in. Again, we do strip to remove leading and trailing, and recall that the output of the mapper is a tab separated string. So we get that string, we split it with a tab again, and that will give us back the movie and the rating. Again, we have to do the error checking. We already did the error checking on the mapper side, so this is somewhat redundant on the user side to check to see whether the rating is valid or not. So the data is coming in as a stream of key and value, and there's no good way to separate when it changes from one key to the other. So this part actually does that. So if you are still seeing the same key, then the current rating sum is going to be incremented by that rating value. Rating count is going to be incremented by 1. If the current movie is no longer the same movie, you are going to print out the rating average. So that means that that entire set of key has already been processed. You print out the movie and the rating average, and you set the current movie to the movie, and you updated the rating and count again. So you reset the rating sum and count. And for the very final value in the group, if current movie is the same as movie, you bring the output one more time. So how do we test for this? We test for this by taking the mapper and then emulate the behavior of the shuffle process within Hadoop. So run it through a sort and py it to Python reducer01.py. Okay. What did I miss?
Was anybody else able to get the sorter output? All right. It should work for you.
One second. Oh, I wonder if it's because I had the reducer Pi open, the tab for the text editor.
Maybe you didn't save it.
It didn't say, you didn't see it.
That's possible.
Okay.
So let's say if I run this with 100 entries. There's really no good way to tell that whether my reducer is working correctly or not. I can check my mapper is working correctly by looking at the data, but with the calculation within the reducer, I cannot tell whether I was doing it correctly or not. So what I can do is to do the following thing. So first of all, after I do my Python mapper, I can add one additional pipe here, and I just grab for one very specific movie or instances of movie. So let's say I'm running, what did I run? I run 1000. Oops. Let's run this first. So if I grab for matrix, I have within 1000 first entry, I have 5 reviews for matrix with this following weighting. So I can check to see that whether my average here is equivalent to the average. Now I can manually calculate it via that. Another approach is to go ahead and modify your is to modify your reducer so that the print statement actually print out a lot more information. So the mapper emits 5 instances of the key, the matrix. And all 5 instances are accounted for from the reducer. The sum of all the instances is equivalent, so this should be that value. So that's how you are able to develop the mapper and reducer locally, somewhat semi-locally, test it against actual HDFS data, and get it ready for actually running it on the Hadoop infrastructure. So again, so the interesting thing for the reducer is that once you start to develop reducer, you eventually see that reducer is more like operation, and it doesn't care about the data, so you can actually reduce the reducer. So after you do the challenges on developing the mapper, you can reduce this reducer to test, and you don't have to develop a new reducer, as long as the operations are still the same.